Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smiths in the Black, and it's time for the Strat Time Report. And boy, you got a mess out there, boy. So, question is, how long can Apple and Microsoft hold up this whole market? here's what's going on now. So, you got the SPY, goes to new highs, upper left, and then takes out yesterday's lows outside day, which means they're willing to pay up and they're willing to sell down. Now they're coming back in the middle. So, if you go to 60, you're going to see this. Let's blow this up for you. Slight higher high, lower low. There's your broadening formation. Nah, you got a new 60. So the question is, can you go two down by taking out all the lows and go back up? The problem is now you're back into the middle of the range. All right, so what you really want to know is, we like to look for bigger moves, right? Yeah, I think everybody does. So the question is, how are you going to take this or that out? Right? Otherwise, chop shoppage in here, right? You can't get out of here. So at least for the next 60, if you can go two down, two up, you might get something here. But these internals are really rough here. So what I mean by that is that when you look at all the sectors and all the stocks in there about what's going on, right? And so, it's Wednesday, so we got the crude number coming out. We also got Chairman Powell on the Hill talking, so that's going to throw a few things around as well. But the question is, how do you take that or that out? And are you going to do that today? Because if you don't, you're going to get chopped suey in here, all right? Just so you know that. So that's the SPY. If we go to QQQ, and QQQ didn't quite make it. It took out the high slightly, right? 46 by 2.5 cents, and then comes in not weak enough to come down here and take it out. So you can see it's a little bit stronger here with the higher low, but that's because you got your Apple and Microsoft still holding up the whole boat, pretty much, because a lot of other things are breaking down. So Apple, Microsoft, and that's holding up the XLK here, albeit doji, but makes new highs. Potential to back up on the 60, as you can see here. I'll shrink that down for you. But the big boy's trying to hold this whole thing up because the internals were garbage to start off the day. You also have crude number coming out today. And so crude, still an inside day. It got hammered off the 60, as you can see this here. Inside 60 down. But still an inside day, so not the end of the world. But you got like XLE. These guys not believing in this at all. The 1 bar rev strat, inside day to the downside. So you got a lot of those things. We'll get to that in a second. Other things that we had are Dow Jones Diamonds. And Dow Jones Diamonds gives us the outside day. And so once again, you're going to see this. An outside bar in a longer time frame is a broadening formation on a shorter time frame. Here. How are you going to get outside of this or that? So right now you can see when Powell took the headset, the mic or whatever, that things are all looking very similar, right? The 2 down 60 now with the hammers trying to come back up over 349.35, and you're just kind of sitting right around there. But what you did have was Honeywell staying firm here, and we talked about this in the weekend vid. Outside month here, inside month, but that gives you this, your broadening formation on the weekly. You can see this starting to come back through, and so when you started to have that weakness in the market, you see Honeywell didn't flinch. Right now you got a new 60, you're going to be aware of that, but that's the kind of things we look for. If we go to Triple M, also didn't flinch. Inside day to the upside. It did what it was supposed to do, and that's inside day, stop these guys out, and there you go. Now you got a new 60 to see if you can stay out of this thing. And still an inside month, but creeping up just kind of like that Honeywell Triple M. Keeping an eye on these futures. Like I said, a lot of these things may go to back up on the 60. Here, like SPY. On the 60, above 437.32. You're there right now. The question is, how far is it going to go? And are you going to be able to take out these highs with these miserable internals? What I mean by that is that you got a lot of these sectors are down and challenged. And you see the small cappers taking out yesterday's lows. Still an inside week, but once again, once you have like a futures move, like everything starts to look the same. You can see all these 60-minute hammers now trying to come back up. But if you take a look at, like I said, the XLE, FAS is inside day down, but futures looking like this. The good thing is that once you're an outside bar, always an outside bar, that can't change. So if they're willing to pay up into new highs and sell down into recent lows, they might do it again. So be aware of that. So what we're going to be looking for too is who can stay down if this starts to fail, or who's going into the highs if we start to rally back, right? So what you're going to see here is Lulu don't care. Boom, up into the highs. You can see this inside on the 60, taking out the recent highs. Still some all-time highs to go after. Right, so Lulu having a nice day, but now on the new 60. Always watching that new 60 for the setups. If we go to Moderna inside day and up, but comes in with market a little bit. Tries to poke above this, but then comes right back in. So 2 up by taking out previous high, 2 down, and then slightly took this out, so it would stop you out. But if you can re-break over 246.49 in the next hour, have my attention. Okay, future's starting to stall out. So this is what I'm talking about here. This was 2 down, 2 up, but you're stuck in the middle here, and you've got these internals. You got FAS, you got energy getting pounded. I'm like, always want to watch the internals. That's going to tell you what's going on. So if you have like all sectors are green, all sectors are red, probably not turning that around anytime soon. When you have the mixed bag that we do here, and actually a lot of weakness, I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. If we go to also in the XLK, you got Visa. Visa still going from yesterday. MA. Looks like we're going to be charging a bunch of stuff. Inside month to the upside. Inside week to the upside. That was in the Strat Attack show last night. Also watching to see how they take this defensive posture with XLP. XLP coming up, and that's going to be your Proctors and your Cokes and your Pepsis. So they're taking a defensive posture there, and XLU positive, not taking out anything significant, but now you got a new 60 starting to come back in just a touch. So we'll see how that goes. On the downside, you got Charter. This was in last night's video. Charter, the inside day to the downside, and the reason we're watching this is you can see this gap down here. Holds the gap down, then goes inside day. If it's going to reverse that, that would be a 2 down, inside and back up. That's not what happened. This is a continuation to the downside because you have full time frame continuity to the downside. Red on the month, 2 up, 2 down reversal week. Magnitude was just to take this out, but when you have full time frame continuity to the downside by being red on all time frames, bad things tend to happen. So we can see if we can continue to take that down. In the Dow, Cat Tractor having a little bit of a rough day, and you can see that was dropping right out the chute. Now trying to recover with the market on the 60. Not the end of the world, but that tells you to keep an eye on like Deere and AGCO here, having some tougher times. We got the DraftKings coming down here, and DraftKings, we want to see if we can take this month out, this inside month to the downside. That would be below 44.65. Would get a little more trouble for the DraftKings, but you can see this thing barely hardly budge when the market retraces back up into the middle of that range. If we go to Coinbase, smackdown, and going after the inside week here, and that would be here below this 232.33. So you're almost there to see if you can take that out. The Coinbase faithful had hopes for the inside month back to the upside. No such luck. After the inside day to the downside, rebuke. If we go to up week. The old up work. Not so much down work. And so you can see this triangle layout, which is going into the highs, and you'll see this broadening formation that was already here, like so. There. And here. So we'd like to see if we can take all this kind of stuff out here. Right now, had quite the beating, so we'll see how that plays out in the afternoon. Market's still trying to firm up here after the beating, so we'll see what J. Powell says. Overstock. He says we got the tools, and that always firms things up just a bit. Overstock was looking good yesterday in the RevStrat week, but here's where we talk about exhaustion risk, right? It did what it was supposed to do, take these guys out, right? The stops here, here, and here. It did that. And then what happened? And then the buyers didn't step up. Boom. Shooter counters hammer on the daily. Puke, and down she goes. And so we'll see what more comes of that. If we go to, the memes. Space. Still puking. And you can see red on all time frames. You can stay short this thing so long as that's real. Inside day to the downside. Still puking is the space. If we go to GameStop. We knew about this. We talked about it all month. And here's your monthly. 2 up by taking out previous high. 2 down below 197 was the number. Down to 172.50. So still puking as that. Market's still trying to recover here, watching the SPY. Watching the SPY. Like I said, all these hourlies looking very similar if they can go above here. Amazon coming back. Let's say Amazon was an outside day yesterday, right? Here, outside day, then slightly takes it out, but comes back into the range. So if they're willing to pay up and sell down yesterday, they might do it again. And so that's what you're seeing here on Amazon. If you go here, the broadening formation on Amazon. Here's your 60-minute broadening formation. And an outside 60, which means this selling was rejected, and it's still being rejected, and you're coming back through here. So once you get above this, you'd want to stay above this. 37.1605, right? You're there right now. Oh, no, not quite. But you want to almost. There we go. Now you are. And so you want to stay above that. So if we go to AMC. And AMC, more memes, just having tough days. I mean, if you look at these guys, the Reddit boys, Wish. The memes having a tough day. If you go to VMW, and VMW still an inside day, but taking out last month's lows. It was in the Strat Attack show, inside week to the downside. So we'll see if they can take that out. Let's go back to the SPY for a second. SPY 2 down, 2 up on the 60. If we go to QQQ, also 2 down hammer, 2 up. If we go to the diamonds, you're going to see the same thing, 2 down, 2 up. So right now starting to recover off of all that. Let's see if I can see anything else that's going on. Space still puking, yeah. So a lot of things looking very future-y. And what I mean by that is you got J. Powell talking, about what he wants to do. And so when all this slight volatility, I hesitate to call it volatility, but when you see something like this outside day drop, at least for a while, you're going to see things all look very similar. And that's what I'm showing you. Is a lot of these things are 2 down, 2 up on the 60. The question is, once again, how do you get out of this and do you stay out? Right? That's what you want to know going forward. All right, running out of time. Looks like we got some weed coming down, though. CGC going into the lows. Tilray going to the lows. Right? So as the day goes on, we're going to continue to monitor the strength and weakness in the market as things start to come apart from the futures. What I mean about like that is not all the charts are going to look the same forever. Once they start stalling out, or right now, I want to know anybody going to the lows, and that's weed. Right? Or anybody following the futures and saying the 2 down, 2 up 60. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, a Smith in the Black with a strat time report.